Yes, what's going on, Kai Lifers? My name's Kai, and it's another exciting day in the Kai Life household because today we are reviewing the Chessnut Evo e-chessboard. Oh, I'm excited about this one. Yes, that's right, I'm back with another chessboard review, and it's from the wonderful people over at Chessnut who have just smashed it out the park once again with their Chessnut Evo smart chessboard. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, then you'll know that I've got a whole raft of Chessnut products because they are just so freaking good. So we've reviewed the Chessnut Go, the Chessnut Air, the Chessnut Pro, and this today is looking at the Chessnut Evo. And the thing that I love about the Chessnut products is that they don't really compete with each other, that they all occupy their own kind of unique space in the e-chess, smart chessboard world. Now, full disclosure before we get stuck into the video, that the lovely team over at Chessnut have sent me the Chessnut Evo to review and to play with and to look at. They haven't paid me for the review. I do get a small commission on any sales that come in via the website. So if you look at this review and you think, hell yeah, I want a little bit of that Chessnut Evo or the Go, the Pro, the Air, the Move, any of their products, then you can use code KaiLife at checkout over at chessnuttech.com and I will get a small commission. So that's full disclosure right up front. But like I say, listen, they're not paying me for the review. They haven't told me that it needs to be a favorable review. With all of the reviews and the content that I've made with various Chessnut products, I've never been told that can I lean slightly or skew towards being positive. I've just genuinely loved the products, and so I'm super grateful to the team for their faith in me as a content creator and as a reviewer. So as I've mentioned, Chessnut do a really good job of basically offering a whole raft of different e-chessboards. I've got a Chessnut Go, I've got the Chessnut Air, the Chessnut Pro, and they all genuinely occupy their own space. So the Go is really small, it's really light, it's really thin, it's that proper travel vibe, very portable, great for if you're playing chess out and about and on the go. Then you've got the Chessnut Air, which is a beautiful traditional looking board. It's still fairly portable. I've got a nice bag for it, the Chessnut bag, so that goes out and about with me as well, but it's still a really nice piece if you're indoors. Then you've got the Chessnut Pro, which isn't portable at all really, but it is a tournament sized chessboard and it is gorgeous. It is a proper statement piece. It's a little bit more subtle. It's not so obvious with being an e-chessboard compared to the Air. And then you've got this bad boy, the Evo, which is not a traditional looking chessboard. This is a more contemporary, futuristic looking chessboard. But the crucial thing with the Chessnut Evo is that it has a built-in screen. So you don't need to connect it to your phone, to your computer, to your tablet, to your laptop. It's all one piece. It's all housed within this single unit. So let's get it out the box and let's see this thing in action. So opening up the box, you get the usual meticulous attention to detail that Chessnut provides. You get these lovely 2 felt bags, which you can keep your pieces in, which I absolutely love. That's something that you don't get with some of the other Chessnut boards. And then as always, you get this lovely cutaway and cutouts for the pieces. Now the pieces, unlike the pieces for say the Chessnut Air and the Chessnut Pro, these are plastic. Like I say, the Chessnut Evo leans more towards a contemporary chess vibe as opposed to that traditional vibe. So these pieces are plastic. They're still beautifully designed though. I absolutely love the design of the Chessnut pieces. And as ever, those felt pads then on the bottom, which of course hides the chips inside each piece, because of course in each one of these pieces is a chip and the board can recognize which piece is on which square on the chessboard at any one time. You also of course get your USB-C cable. Let's just take that out the housing. There we go. Which means that you can charge it. Obviously, it does not need to be charged the whole time, but it is worth saying that there is going to be more battery drain and more power draw on the Chessnut Evo compared to your Go, your Pro, your Air, because of course there is the screen. And this is what's underneath. An undeniably super, super cool bit of tech. And like I say, unlike anything else in the Chessnut range. Once again, I refer you to the Go, the Air, the Pro, they're all wonderful products. But this is something else entirely. And I have to say, it is a super exciting feature to have the all-in-one, all housed in one unit. So that even though I don't find it an inconvenience to pair all of the other Chessnut chessboards to my phone or my computer, my laptop, it's super easy, it's a super smooth process. But the fact that I can just play and do all of the things or have all of those smart features in one unit and not need to have it paired to something else is just awesome. It doesn't have the aesthetics of a traditional chessboard, but the fact that it leans so smartly and so sleekly, if that's a word, into that contemporary modern vibe. Now with the Chessnut Evo, you get a completely different looking side panel than that you'd find on the Go, the Pro, and the Air. You get these properly raised buttons, I guess you'd call them. There you can see proper raised buttons. You've got your charging port here, your power button, and then you've got your additional buttons on the side. There are no other buttons on the unit itself. It's just those ones on the side. Now, the software that the Evo is based on is essentially Android. It's Android platform, but it's super powerful. And if anything, actually, it offers a little bit more intuitive functionality than if you were using the phone app. Let's go through some of the things essentially that you can do with the Chessnut Evo. So like I said, this basically negates the need for you to have to connect your Chessnut to a phone, a tablet, or whatever. It's all housed in one. It's equipped with the latest Stockfish and Maya engines for super advanced analysis and gameplay. You can use custom engines, so essentially you can tailor your game to match any playing style using historical playing data. Now, this is awesome because it means that you can essentially set up the AI with these custom engines, which is an awesome feature because essentially you can set up the AI to make it feel like you're playing against Magnus or Hikaru or anything. You want to practice certain openings or practice certain endgames. It's a great feature. Unlike the small LEDs that you have on most of the other Chessnut boards, so you get these small LEDs that are kind of quite obvious to spot on the Go and the Air, even when they're not on. With the Chessnut Pro, they're super hidden, they're very subtle. With this, you're gonna see some proper LED work once I show you what it can do. And just like with the other boards, you can use third-party apps as well. So Chessnut don't make it that it's a closed system and you can only use their program. There's a whole bunch of other apps that you can use and connect to it and download to this thing. Now, of course, usually you connect your Chessnut to a phone or a laptop or tablet or computer, whatever it is, and you use the Wi-Fi connection from there. We're not doing that with this, so of course, you need to make sure that this is connected to a network. But it is worth saying that if you're only intending to use the offline features, so that would be the bot match, analysis, the career mode, then you can start playing straight away. You don't need to even have it connected to a network. However, if you want to access the full features, and I mean, there's no reason not to do this, then you will need to make sure that you've got it connected to your Wi-Fi or whatever network you're using. Now, as ever, you get a spare queen so that when you promote your pawns, you get a queen. And like I say, because you've got that piece recognition in the pieces, the board will automatically know that you're promoting your pawn to a queen. Now, you can also, of course, it only has spare queens. If you're looking to promote another piece, then you'd either need to buy some replacement pieces or some additional pieces, or you can use a piece that's already been captured by your opponent. So let's start with the offline features then. Now, obviously, you can play against another human with all the Chessnut boards. And the cool thing with doing that is you can have it record your game as you play, and then you can analyze that game. You can do that without actually even having to export it because this has a screen. So you can analyze it without having to leave the unit, which is even better. It's even better. So we're going to go to bot match. You can see here that you can choose between Maya. So if I click here where it says Maya, I can choose between Maya, Stockfish, and Leela Chess Zero. They're all different. They all behave differently. If you want to know what the best one is and what the differences and the nuances are between those three engines, then click the link in the top right-hand corner now, because I made a video explaining the differences between those three engines. And then you can see these levels here, and there are little ELOs underneath here. So level 1 is at 1100 ELO, 1200, 1300, 1400. These are different for each one. So if I click Stockfish, you'll see here that it's set at 1350. So Stockfish is a good one if you want to go go low. So, I mean, I'm going to set it to 700. I'd like to say that my elo is actually higher than 700 right now, but I also don't want to embarrass myself in a review video. So, you know, come at me. You've got your time control down here as well. You've got here as well the engine maximum thinking time, and that is customizable here. Now, the longer you set this to, essentially the smarter it is. You give it more time to think, the engine more time to think. It can think ahead more, it can plan more. So make that shorter if you basically don't want to make it super smart. Let me show you exactly how this works. So we're going to start with basically one of my favorite openings, and you can see, so the engine actually says where it wants to go. But aside from that, you can also see here, and you can see that's the move that it wants to make. So you get this LED ring. Now I can see this clearly IRL, and like I say, that is under 2 massive studio light boxes and some natural light coming in as well. But this essentially shows me that the engine wants me to move their knight to this square. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, anytime I pick up one of my pieces, it will show on the board where I can move that piece. You can turn that off. You can turn that kind of help off. But as you see, if I lift that pawn, it will light up this square and this square, because those are the legal moves that I can make with that pawn. And you can see here as well, now I've turned on the moves list, it shows that previous move. Now, obviously the engine actually announcing the move is going to be something you either want or you don't want. I think it's going to be chalk and cheese, essentially. You're going to love it or you're going to hate it. I think more often than not, you're probably not going to use it. You can turn it off, so you don't need to have that on. But listen, if you want that extra aid, you've got the lights anyway, so you don't need it, but it's nice to have the option, essentially. So both the knights out, I'm going to move that there. And the thing that I love about this, and I say this about every chestnut board, is that usually you have your chessboard, your chestnut board connected to a phone or tablet, and you don't end up looking at, even though it's showing the game whilst you're playing it in real time, you don't tend to, one doesn't tend to, I certainly don't, look at that whilst playing this. The whole point of playing like this whilst being connected to the smart chess features, especially when you're playing online, is the fact that you get the benefits of those games, but you get the experience of playing over the board. And I've said it every single review I've done of a Chessnut product, it has improved my over the board chess immeasurably to not just play on my phone or on my computer with that bird's eye view and only getting used to that chess.com or Lee Chess style. It makes a huge difference. Okay, so bishop's come out. I am going to attack the bishop. Bishop retreats, that's fine. I'm going to just prepare to castle here. And you can see the engine completely recognizes that straight away. Okay, this is all very slowly catchy monkey right now. Not for much longer. Let's put that pawn there. Didn't want anything to do with that. I feel like we can almost start to make a little bit of a push here. Okay. Engine's gone for a castle. I could threaten the queen here. It's not necessarily a fantastic threat, but it can only be blocked by this pawn. Let's see what happens. Like I say, this is only rated at 700 elo. Wow, okay, so it's just gone for a pure check. Love that. Okay, so what we're getting here is this And there is now a red ring around my king to say, hey, you're in check, bro. You can't do anything until you deal with that. So I'm in check. I'll deal with that first. Got to get rid of the bishop. Okay, so here comes the push. So now we've got this square defended by rook and knight and queen. So it's not perfect for me right now, but I am just going to get rid of that with the pawn. Okay, now I don't mind this for me right now because we've got knights coming, queens coming, bishops threatening as well. So I'm just going to lean back on this and then start to infiltrate. Okay, here comes the knight. We're going to deal with that now, even though we've got the second knight on the way. Okay, so got to be a little wary here because my bishop is hanging, but we are just going to now push the knight. And that's fine. Queen will take here, and that will mean that I can just move my queen. So we've put black into check. Wow, and the engine's decided to move the king, which seems absolutely wild to me. And that's now going to give me the opportunity to move in. Now I could move my queen. I can't deliver a check because bishop will take, but this might be a decent check. It might be a decent check. I think I might do it because if bishop takes next, I'll move my queen up. Well, that does seem like a big mistake. Now I am going to bring the queen into play. Next up, we are going to... So that knight is completely safe. Let's deliver another check. Mass retreat going on right now. Mass retreat. I don't think delivering that check makes much sense. I might just, though, bring the bishop round. Wow, that's a wild move. That's a wild move. Okay, now we've got big options now. So I could deliver this check that kind of hems my queen in a little. Let's do it. Let's deliver a check. We're just going to keep the... Oh, interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's deliver another check. And then we're going to take the queen. Absolutely should have just taken the bishop there. But on we go. Where's my next check coming from? In fact, maybe just bring this. Okay. That's fine. My bishop is hanging at the moment here, but I'm not too bothered. I'm certainly not bothered now. like another escape square. That's fine. Let's move and deliver another check. We're just going to force a retreat here. Let's take. Okay, and a little bit of offense finally coming from black. Oh, I'm coming for you now, buddy. We're going to bring the queen along. Rook's coming back. Let's bring that up. The end is nigh. That was a very quick move. That was a very quick move indeed. Plays that push. And then here is checkmate. And as it says here on the screen, white wins by checkmate and game over. Well, good to see that I didn't embarrass myself with the 700 ELO rated engine there from Stockfish. So here comes the really cool part then. You've got the option of discard and quit or save and quit. Now, if I hit save and quit, what will happen here is if I go back to the main menu, I go to record down here, and here you can see these are all of the games that I have played using various Chessnut products. So not even just on the Evo, but from the Air and the Pro and the Go. But this is the game at the top that I've just played. So I'm going to hit that, and then I can do a review. I can click review. I can do analysis. If I do review, then the Evo will review the game. And as you can see here, just like as you would see on chess.com, it will show everything from blunders to best moves. So it's reviewing the game right now as you just let this meter fill up. And now you can see here, it goes move by move, and it will color code each move. So you can just scroll through here and see where I've played good moves and terrible moves. And then you can hit analysis, and you can just see a full analysis of your game. So I can scroll through here using the right and left arrows and just look at basically the best moves and look at the depth as well. So you can have, this is based on Stockfish 17, it shows the engine depth. It's really, really, really cool. It's such a cool feature that this is all housed within the unit. So you can play a game locally against the bot, and then you can analyze it in the chessboard itself. It's so cool. All right, so let's look at where the proper magic happens, and that is using your Chessnut Evo for the online features. So you don't just have chess.com and Lichess where you can play real human opponents across those services, but there are also other, if we go to online match here, you can see that there's also ChessKid, Chessable. You can download other apps as well. And I love that about Chessnut products. They don't try and just keep some sort of enclosed ecosystem where you can only play against their bots and on their system. It's really open in terms of that third-party usage. And that extends to, if you see here on chess.com, it extends here to the fact that they offer either chess.com's official API, so chess.com's official, essentially, app, or Chessnut Vision, which uses Firefox, it uses a browser, and it just offers a slightly different experience. But like I say, big props to Chessnut for the fact that it's essentially open source. Okay, so let's play a game on chess.com, and you see that I open up the chess.com app here on the options, and it takes me straight to my account. I'm logged in. I have this huge screen, and like I said, I'm used to having this screen on my phone when I link my Chessnut Go, my Air, my Pro, but this is now a huge screen to be able to use. It's awesome. Now I'm playing against a bot. I'm playing against one of the new chess.com bots, the barbecue themed bots. I'm gonna play against the 300 ELO rated Kebab, but you can play against other players, human players, you can play the puzzles. It's great. The integration is awesome, and you're gonna see just how well this works. And remember, this is using the chess.com servers. This isn't local. It's not like playing against Maya, Stockfish, or Lily Chess Zero baked into the Evo. This is linking to the chess.com server. So it makes that linking and that connection and the speed of everything so much more impressive. I'm gonna scroll down, hit play, and off we go. So you're gonna see just how instant that is in terms of the piece recognition. And you see, just like when we play locally, those squares light up telling me where to go. And look, I say the same thing that I find when I'm playing using this offline or locally using the local bots. And that is that my over the board game has improved so much since I've been using Chessnut products to play my chess, but via chess.com and Lichess. The fact that I can get used to playing from this real life sort of over the board isometric view rather than only feeling like I can play with that bird's eye top down view has been crucial. And I just love the fact that the Evo is just one unit. It's just an all-in-one unit. It's so cool. Okay, right. Now, this Kebab's rated only 300. I'm hoping that it's going to do more spectacularly stupid moves like that. That would be absolutely fantastic. We've destroyed the 700 rated Stockfish bot locally. Yeah, this is great. Getting completely nonsensical moves straight out the gate. This is brilliant. Exactly what I want. Let's see how quickly Kebab shows itself to be a 300 rated bot. Okay, well, it's preparing to get its queen out. I also just have a free knight, which is great. Love that. You can see once again, the recognition for that is just instantaneous. Yes, that's a sensible move. And we're just going to get that bishop right back out of there. So you can see, you can easily play even 3-minute rated games on chess.com or Lichess. Like, no bother. The response is that fast. And I say that even with someone that's got pretty potato internet. My internet isn't fantastic, but the response time is just, you know, it's great. All right, let's get the bishop out. Come on, let's cause a bit of carnage. We'll look to castle next up, depending on what happens here. Okay, tasty, tasty. Don't mind that. We're still going to castle. And again, you'll see that that just happens instantaneously on the screen. You're going to be looking at the screen more than I'm looking at the screen right now. Ooh, bold. Love this. Bold move. All right, let's go. Let's go. Love this. What's next? There's something crazy's coming. I wonder if I threaten the queen. I wonder whether. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just see what happens. Does the 300 rated bot get the queen safe? No. No, it doesn't. Okay, well, that's great news. That's great news. Let's get the queen off the board. Love that. So we'll get the queen and the knight here. I'm assuming the bot's going to take the bishop. Yes. Okay, did think about it for a while. Nice. All right, so we've got a queen and a knight for that bishop. Having said that, actually, the bot now can take my hanging bishop, but will... No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay, well, that's great. So let's get that somewhat safe, shall we? Let's bring that back to here. Surely the end is nigh for Kebab. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, let's tempt. Oh, again there was thought. Again there was thought. Okay. Not really a big move. And that just gives me a nice safe square for my knight. Okay, went for it. Fine by me. Okay, now carnage time begins. Now carnage time begins. What will you do here, Kebab? What will you do? You keep pushing that pawn. Let's go for... I might actually go for a little knight sacrifice here. Let's see if that will play. I'm assuming this is going to happen. I'm assuming he's just going to take. Oh no, he actually went for the sacrifice. That's surprising. Love that. Let's go for that. Come on, let's just drag the king out into the open, shall we? Well, that's a crazy move. That's a particularly crazy move. And now Kebab is in all sorts of trouble. All sorts of trouble for Kebab. It's not quite mate, but it's close. Yes. The only way really to get out of that. Bishop check. No, I don't think so. Yes. Let's go. It's king on the run. King on the run. Is there just a mate here? Let's have a look. Quite possibly, actually. Yes, that is checkmate. Beautiful. And Dunsky. And you can see here at the end of the game, all of these squares light up to basically say, game done, finished, and you need to reset the pieces. You see all these pieces are lit up because they're all in wrong spaces because they're meant to be on their home square. So you'll see here, if I move this pawn back to here, those lights extinguish, saying, yep, that pawn's now in the right place. So the board will help you to guide you putting the pieces back on to the right place. But as you can see, that experience was seamless, flawless, and having this all in one unit is just spectacularly fun. Now, it's worth also pointing out that the Chessnut Evo has a career mode. So essentially, you can just go on your own sort of chess journey tailored to your skill level, to your ELO. So it starts with an ELO rating of 500, and then as you improve, the strength of your opponent improves. So essentially, it's a really good way to just improve offline over the board using your Evo, and it uses the Stockfish engine, so you know it's going to be smart. Now, I alluded to the battery at the beginning of the video, and look, the battery in the Chessnut Evo is pretty damn impressive considering that it's having to use a whole lot more power than most of the other Chessnut products. So the Chessnut Evo gets to a full charge in around 2 hours, and it will give you between 3 to 8 hours play, and that's depending on a few different factors. Screen brightness is one of them. It's on 100% screen brightness at the moment. Other things, you get a battery saver mode as well. Because it's running on Android, you get all those extra bells and whistles, so you do get a battery saver mode, but depending on how hard you're pushing it, and that does relate to things like how much you're using the online features, how bright is the screen, you can get up to 8 hours on one charge, which is pretty damn nice. Now, like I say, if you're looking to play over the board with someone IRL and not use any of the AI features or the online features, then you can do that as well. It's as simple as going to here, going to clock, and then you can set up the board however you want. You can have a time control as well. So let's say we'll set this to say 10 minutes, so a countdown from 10, we press start, and now what will happen is that the person that's playing as black gets a clock that's facing them, I get a clock that's facing me, and as soon as I make my first move and it starts counting down, there you go. You get the same features, so you get things like move evaluation, so I can turn that on, and again, the feedback is just absolutely instantaneous. And, you know, it's a really nice way of playing with the time control. You don't actually have to hit a physical clock. You still get this display, which is really nice, and each player gets to choose whether they want to be able to see evaluation and moves, and they're independent of each other as well. So this mode just works really, really nicely. Remember, once the game is finished, once again, you can save the game and then analyze it or review it either within the screen itself, or you can export it and look at it on chess.com. You can look at it on your computer, and you've got a game that's recorded and saved for however long you want to save it. Okay, so what are the pros and cons? Who's going to be buying this? Why would you want to buy this maybe over another Chessnut product? Well, I think there are a few things that I want to talk about. So a big one, I think, in the pro and the con simultaneously in both columns is the look of the thing. And if you're looking for a e-chessboard that has a traditional chessboard look, then the Evo's not going to be for you, because this doesn't look like a traditional chessboard at all. It's got a contemporary look, it has the screen built in, it's not got that wood finish, and so that would maybe be something that stands out to you as just an aesthetic thing that you don't really want in your e-chessboard. However, if you love the contemporary look, then you're going to absolutely love the Evo. I mean, I think it looks amazing. Now, personally, and I know this is a really boring thing to say, but I think there are perks in both, and I kind of love both. I really love how a traditional chessboard looks, but I also appreciate that you're not going to have the aesthetics of a traditional chessboard with a modern contemporary screen on the side of it. It's sort of a bit jarring if you had both together. So I think Chessnut have gone in a really good direction in basically marrying a contemporary chessboard look and the contemporary LED look with a contemporary screen and that Android UI. Once again, if you're looking for something that's portable, then maybe the Chessnut Evo's not what you're looking for. The Go, the Air are definitely more portable than this, although this is infinitely more portable than the Chessnut Pro, which is that tournament size board. It's huge, it's lovely, but it's not really something that's going to leave your house very much. Having said that, I think this is a real statement piece, and I have taken this out already and played with people in a cafe. I've taken it around to my friend's house, and it's just a bit of a talking piece, it's a bit of a talking point. And the other boards are that as well, and I think it's really cool to show them and talk them through the features, but they can't really see the features in action as easily, whereas with this, you just get this out, turn this on, the screen is super high quality and super impressive, and people can just see the benefit of the tech right there and then in front of their eyes. I think, quite honestly, if you're someone that is a hobbyist, you don't play chess very often, this is still amazing for you, because the different features and the different things that it offers, if you're a hobbyist and you're looking to improve, then the inbuilt AI is amazing. Using the bots on Lead Chess on chess.com is great and seamless. If you're someone that plays chess regularly, then this is just going to help enhance your game. I'm someone who, I'm definitely not an expert at chess, but I play a lot and I love playing. And a massive part of me loving playing is playing people IRL. And to do that, my over-the-board game needs to improve. And marrying that over-the-board experience with being able to play on chess.com or Lichess, or even on the local bots on the Evo, it really does help my game. Only having access to chess.com on my phone or on my computer or my tablet doesn't really prepare me for playing an over-the-board game. So having those two things married together in one unit really makes the Chessnut Evo a super attractive option in the Chessnut range. Now remember, whether you are thinking about picking this up or you've checked out my Chessnut Go, Chessnut Air, Chessnut Pro reviews, remember you can get a significant chunk off your purchase if you use code KYLIVE at chessnuttech.com. Listen, it helps me, I get a little bit of commission from it, so thank you so much if you use my code. But remember, like I say, you don't just need to use it on the Evo, you can use it across all the products on the website. And do support Chessnut Tech because the company is awesome. And once again, thank you to the lovely team at Chessnut who continue to support me and support the channel. And of course, they help me to bring you this content. So big props to Chessnut, and like I say, use that code at checkout on Chessnut Tech because like I say, it does give you a significant saving on your purchase. Right, that'll do for this review of the wonderful Chessnut Evo here on KYLIVE. Let me know if you want to see me playing certain games, certain scenarios, playing against certain bots with this marvelous piece of tech. I cannot wait to get stuck into this even more. Now, if you like what you've seen and what you've heard, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe. And until the next video, take care, much love, and peace out.